Okay, let's get right into it. If you are letting people punch you in the face to condition your jaw, you need to stop. Like right now. It is one of the most dangerous myths in all of boxing. And today, we are going to break down the real science of how to take a punch.
I will never forget this. I walked into this old, gritty boxing gym in Philly. You know the kind. It just smelled like decades of sweat and leather. And there, in the middle of the ring, was this one guy with his hands down, just letting another fighter tee off on his face. I must have looked confused, because his trainer looked over and said, completely serious, "We're doing conditioning drills for his chin." But here's the real question. Was he actually building an iron chin, or was he just building permanent brain damage?
You know, that scene in the gym, it gets right to the heart of this huge, dangerous myth in combat sports. This whole idea that you can just tough it out. So let's dive in and completely bust this myth once and for all.
So can you? Can you really train your chin to get stronger the more you get punched, just like you train your bicep? And the answer is a hard, definitive no. You're not making it stronger. You're actually doing irreversible damage.
A lot of people think that getting knocked out is all about how much pain you can take. You know, if you're tough, you can just walk through it. Well, that is absolute nonsense. Getting knocked out, or even just getting a concussion, has absolutely nothing to do with how tough you are. It's a biological short circuit going haywire inside your skull. To really get why, just picture this. Your brain, it's basically this incredibly soft piece of jelly, and it's floating around in fluid inside your skull, which is, hard bone. So when you get hit, your skull moves instantly, but that jelly-like brain, it lags behind for a split second and then just crashes violently against the inside of your skull. That's the knockout, that's the concussion, and you just can't condition jelly to be tougher. It doesn't work that way. And every single time that jelly crashes against your skull, you're looking at the scariest part of all this. Which brings us to the core idea of this whole explainer, a concept I call the battery theory. So think of your ability to take a punch, your chin, like a brand new phone battery. When you're young, it is fully charged, 100%. You feel indestructible, right? Like you can walk through walls. But every hard sparring session, every time you get rocked, every concussion, it drains that battery a little bit. And the critical part is, once that charge is gone, it is gone for good. You can't just plug it back in. Now, what's so sneaky about this whole process is that you don't really feel it happening. You might feel totally fine at 90% or even at 80%. The percentage is dropping, but you don't notice. This is exactly why we see these legends of the sport, guys who seem to have granite chins for years, suddenly getting knocked out by punches that wouldn't have even fazed them before. Their battery didn't just get weak, it ran completely out. So here's the bottom line. If you're in the gym taking unnecessary headshots, thinking it's toughening you up, you are dead wrong. You are draining your finite, precious battery for free. You're not even getting paid for it in a real fight. It's just not smart training, period. Okay, so if we can't condition the brain, then what can we do? Well, the good news is, there is a muscle group that stands between a punch and a knockout. It's your real insurance policy. It's your neck.
And this just illustrates the difference perfectly. Look, with a weak neck, a punch makes your head snap back like it's on a piece of cooked spaghetti. The brain just rattles around violently. But with a strong neck, it's like a tree trunk. Your head stays stable. Those muscles absorb the shock and dramatically reduce the G-force your brain has to deal with.
And the best part? You can build this. These 3 exercises right here directly strengthen the muscles that stabilize your head. First, you've got weighted curls for the front of the neck. Next, isometric holds for that all-around stability. And finally, heavy shrugs to build up those traps. That's the foundation of your neck. For every pound of strength you add, you're literally building a better insurance policy against getting knocked out. All right, so let's move on to the next layer of your defense. Strength is one thing, but technique is a whole other ballgame. This is about creating a defensive shield through simple habits you can drill over and over. So, why is tuck your chin the absolute #1 rule in boxing? Well, it's just simple physics. Think about your chin like a lever, and your neck is the pivot point. A punch on a chin that's sticking out has a huge lever arm to just spin your head around and rattle your brain. But by tucking your chin down, you're basically hiding that lever, making it incredibly hard for your opponent to generate that dangerous rotational force. And here's another little secret. Your mouth guard isn't just to protect your teeth. When you bite down hard on a properly fitted guard right at the moment of impact, you're actually locking your jawbone into your skull. This turns your entire head into one solid, stable unit. A floating, open jaw when you get hit, that's just a recipe for disaster.
So neck strength and good habits, that's your armor. But the ultimate defense, the one that preserves your brain's battery for the longest time, is actually way simpler. Just don't get hit cleanly in the first place. And that, my friends, all comes down to footwork.
I mean, think about it. There was a fighter, a multiple-time world champion, who people always said had a glass jaw. So how did he achieve so much? It was because his footwork was absolutely incredible. He got it. He understood that the best way to take a punch is to simply not be there for it. He used movement, angles, and distance as his main line of defense.
So while having a strong neck helps you survive the punches you absolutely have to take, elite footwork helps you avoid them altogether. Building a style around movement isn't just smart, it's your long-term brain insurance. It's the key to having a long and healthy career in the sport.
Okay, so we've covered all the science and the theory. Now let's put it all together. Let's build a practical blueprint that you can start using this week to build real, sustainable punch resistance. Here's a super simple 3-day split. On day 1, you're building that foundational neck strength and really drilling that chin tuck habit. Day 2 is all about the feet, learning to move, learning to evade. Then, on day 3, we reinforce the neck with isometrics and shrugs, and we start to integrate that bite and brace habit into our combos. The most important thing here, give your neck a day of rest between those heavy strength days.
And finally, let's talk about sparring, because this is where most people drain their battery for absolutely nothing. You have got to be smart. Treat every hard spar like you were spending a resource that you can't get back. Set clear rules with your partners. No ego wars, just controlled technical work. And if you get hurt, if you get rocked, take real time off from any head contact, even if you feel fine. Just remember, the best supplement for brain health is to simply not get hit.
So all of this leaves us with one final question to really think about. You see, it's not about being tough, it's about being smart. So ask yourself, are you training just to fight, or are you training to last? Because your brain's battery life really depends on that answer.